Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, as well as the Turrbal and Yugara people, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. When Mikey Dalton first walked into San Telmo in Melbourne with a CV in his hand, fresh off the plane from Ireland, he could hardly have imagined where that small decision would lead. 14 years later, he's now chef and co-owner of San Telmo Brisbane, a restaurant 3 years in the making and already finding its own rhythm in a new city. It was so easy to chat with Mikey, even over the phone. He speaks about cooking over fire with genuine fascination, especially when it comes to the chefs who have spent their lives learning how to master it. And his curiosity about food remains as strong as ever. Our conversation wandered from Brisbane's changing dining habits to 10-metre wedding grills in Argentina, with a pair of antique doors somewhere at sea slowly making their way towards the restaurant. And the whole conversation was glorious. Mikey, that it's lovely to speak to you. And I know that San Telmo opened at the end of June in Brisbane, but you actually moved up north 3 years ago to make that happen. So I feel as though the opening is being presented as an exciting new arrival, but for you it must be the end of a really long build-up. So what did those 3 years involve?
I think you're right on saying, yeah, it feels like the end, but it's only the beginning. Because it took so long. But I think in those short 3 years, I did come up with the intention of opening pretty soon, but obviously, things don't go to plan,
Yeah.
um, more often than not. So it took us 3 years. So in that meantime, I was in a couple of restaurants for about a year and a half. So I just took a couple of restaurants in Brisbane, did a bit of Blackbird, and I was at Agnes for a couple of months, just kind of setting myself up. And then I spent about a year and a half in the casino, the Star Brisbane. Um, so I was working there for a while,
Mm.
did some, worked in a few of the outlets of it, did some events, helped out in a area. So I kind of, yeah, just kind of, work my way through the kitchens in terms of just helping out where necessary, really. And then we finally got to get the restaurant. Probably kind of signed off around early January this year,
Mm.
and then we started getting once that was signed off, we got in February, started getting the building done, finished, and about a 13 week fit out to get to this stage. So um, that's kind of where we're at, I suppose.
Yeah, amazing. And so, do you think that it was important though? Was it actually probably quite a good thing to get a feel for Brisbane and what the people are after by working in those other places first?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think looking back in it, it's definitely, I suppose, shaped the way I've designed the menu, and probably the way I feel about Queensland. It's just, I think if I came up from Melbourne and we got the restaurant up and running straight away, I probably would have been a bit more, I wouldn't say, what would I be, ignorant to say that I could have just done what I wanted and then it would have worked. I feel like these 3 years have kind of given me I suppose, the information and the knowledge of maybe just tweaking things a little bit or understanding what Queenslanders like, and
Mm.
getting suppliers, people. I met a lot of people, I mean, through the restaurants I've been in, and also through the casino as well. I met a lot of people through there, just in terms of, because there's so many CDCs and executive chefs there that's there. So that knowledge I've gained over the past couple of years has definitely put me in good stead for San Telmo Brisbane.
Yeah. So, what are some differences? What are some differences to the menu, or perhaps the way you do things up there than here in Melbourne?
I suppose just understanding the clientele.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a little bit different, but I think just using local produce is really important as well. I think Queenslanders are very proud of um of their space. Um, I'm not saying Victorians aren't, because they are, but it's more like local beef, a little bit more seafood, um, just kind of that kind of aspect, I suppose.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I think I've read a few things. There's been quite a lot of press about the opening, which is really great. And you've said in one of those that the food's ingredient led and guided by simplicity. Um, what does that mean? How does that translate onto the menu?
I think what we do is it's kind of not a mix of anything in terms of it's kind of the like it's steak on a plate, really, you know. And I think I feel like that says everything. If we're willing to come up here and just put a steak on a plate, I believe that's the produce driven simplicity in itself.
Yeah.
I think that just stands to what San Telmo's always kind of done in Melbourne and also up here. I'm working with very few suppliers. I'm working with them directly.
Yeah.
So that's like stockyard from up here. Um, I'm using obviously O'Connor's in Melbourne, but I'm kind of working closely with those suppliers,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of speaks for itself. From the feedback that we've had so far, which has been amazing, and they really kind of accepted us. So and I think the simplicity in itself is that I think they understand what we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're taking it quite well, and the same with the kind of they're offering with the wines and things that we import ourselves, and all that kind of stuff is what they love, I think.
Yeah.
And they're excited to try new things, which is good.
Yeah, that is good. It's interesting because I've spoken to some chefs that have moved from Melbourne to Queensland, and they've said that uh, that maybe the clientele aren't so open, but perhaps that's shifting now. And I also heard that it's much more of an early morning kind of town or area, that people get up and exercise and do all that, and then that the nightlife is not so big. But are things changing, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, definitely,
Mm.
definitely. Because I mean, where I was before, in a couple of the restaurants and even at the casino, like like it'd be very hard to get a second sitting. Usually, it's like 5 o'clock. People are banging down the door.
Yeah, yeah,
Trying to get
yeah.
in. And no, I think even at the weekend, or even on Thursday night, I was here and there was still restaurant was half full at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, good.
So I think we're trying to change that kind of aspect of, we do open 11:30, which is like 30 minutes before any other of the restaurants in Melbourne, but um, we still have the people coming in. People starting to stay a bit later, but I think nighttime is what we really want to create. So
Mm.
you can come after work, or you can, after whatever's on sporting events, you can come down, and the place is still kind of bustling. It's a very inviting space when you come in.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to really create that. Hopefully, I feel like it is changing, especially with the new I think they're putting like a task force in Brisbane to kind of enhance the nightlife again. So you're getting people to stay out later, because it's one generally like to stay out 2 days, but hopefully we're changing that.
I think things have changed a bit in Melbourne as well, really, since lockdowns and everything. I think people's way of socialising has changed. So maybe it's just there's all kinds of shifts happening. Maybe in the end, Brisbane will end up being the party people, and Melbourne will be, in bed.
Yeah, I'm like that myself. Though. I'm gonna get stark. I just want to go home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
So,
right. And you're cooking over the parrilla, which you would have done in Melbourne as well. There's so much romantic language around cooking over fire. Like we always like to talk about ritual and instinct and gathering, but what does it actually mean? Because there's a lot involved. Like if when you're starting off if you're opening at 11:30, like what
yes.
happens before that with the fire?
Well, it's actually called Parisha, which
Oh.
actually, just so you're aware, it's the Argentinians kind of pronounce their L's with an SH.
Oh, good to know.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Fun fact there for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they call it the Parisha. So we start, well, I mean, 8 o'clock. We have people in there at 6, but 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock is generally when the chefs get in. Um, we kind of get the grill kind of sorted. We get the charcoal in, get the so ours is a little bit different. We kind of don't have it as like an actual like plate as such.
Mm.
So off to the side, we have a thing called a chimney.
Mm.
So we kind of start the charcoal on that side. And then once the charcoal gets up to heat, it starts to filter through the grate. And that's where we get the actual the heat source from. Um, with the actual just in its charcoal form. So
Mm.
the flavors are quite you don't have really had that smoky flavor. It's kind of really all the kind of let the produce do the talking.
Ah.
We don't really do too much to it.
So
So essentially, yeah.
is that the difference between using wood and using charcoal?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because just the way it's treated, it's almost like it doesn't get overpowered with the actual smoke and fire because the way the grill is designed, it's got V bars. So once they're cooking and the heat kind of permeates through the little bars, the fat kind of runs off. So you don't get that flame as such. You don't really have any kind of fire coming up through it that will kind of I feel it kind of taints the taste of the meat.
Oh, interesting.
Gives it a
Yeah.
different kind of flavor that I don't like. So I think when you taste the steaks here, you definitely feel the difference.
Mm. Have you Did I read somewhere that you traveled through South America?
Yes, I did. Yeah, yeah. A few years ago now, but we're gonna plan our next trip next year. I think.
Yeah.
Got to go back, keep up the yeah, keep up visiting there. We went there a few years ago, so we went to Buenos Aires, where we went to Don Julio, which is kind of really the godfather of steak restaurants. Really, it's
Mm.
done. I think it's got number one a few times, and it's always in and around the top five restaurants in the world. I think we got up to the top 10 at one stage,
Mm.
but that was amazing to visit there. And then what else we do? We went to Mendoza, which is like up near Chile.
Mm.
So that was beautiful. Kind of just traveled around to wineries. Went to different Francis Malman restaurants. Went there about two or three, which was amazing. He's another kind of godfather of the kind of primal, poetic kind of cooking.
Mhm.
He tends to draw on that, which is awesome. So we done a bit of traveling, and the owners in Melbourne, some of the other owners, they've all been quite a few times.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we have our doors arriving from Argentina pretty soon, actually.
I know, I read that. That's so exciting. There's something really wonderful about going through a door that's come from the actual country.
Yeah, I think we kind of stuck to our guns in that part to make sure it was have a kind of authentic, I suppose.
Yeah.
So those doors are on a ship somewhere.
So it's like entering a portal into another world.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've been to the restaurant in Melbourne.
I have.
As you see, those doors are kind of the kind of I don't know. There is a kind of what is it, love story with those doors as well. I think
Yeah.
they're quite old and amazing as you go through that door. So yeah.
And I imagine too, because I know chefs are so good at, well, curious chefs, of which you're one, are really great at learning about new things and new foods and culture and all that kind of thing. But I imagine actually going there and seeing how things are done on the ground in the country whose food you're cooking, it must make such a difference.
Oh, 100%. That's 100%. And even just the way they feel about food and how they kind of um yeah, it's more of a gathering as you said before.
Mm.
I mean the wedding we went to, I mean the grill they had was about I'd be lying if I said it wasn't 10 meters long. And they had just all sorts and they were just all sorts out there. Which was pretty amazing.
Mm.
All different cuts, cooking the ground, cooking over the ground. Um and they eat quite late actually.
Mm.
Yes, that's one thing we found. So hopefully we can change that trend up here. You'd be having dinner at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
10 or even yes, the one go to nightclubs till about 2.
Yeah.
So it's late eaters.
Maybe once the doors are in, there'll be something magical that happens. People will pass through the door and then stay all night.
Forget about what time it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's peaceful. Yeah, but we're gonna have a door party, so we'll have to send out invitations for that as well.
Oh, amazing. um, So you've been to South America, but I did read somewhere that you named Asador Echtabari as a bucket list restaurant, and that's in the Basque country. And the chef owner there, Victor Arganzonz, I'm probably saying that totally wrong, Arganzonas, he yeah, he understands about things about fire that you reckon that chefs elsewhere are still trying to understand. How did you find out about him, and what's your desire to go there about?
I think he's always, I suppose, stood out as the godfather, really, of that kind of cooking. And I suppose, like, Leonard Hasty was his protege for quite a long time, and he's obviously got fired over.
Yeah.
So he spent a long time there, and I feel like that kind of, I mean, you have a lot of diehard kind of, you know, people that go to restaurants all around the world, or foodies that would have known about him. It's kind of like high up in the hills outside near Bilbao. I think it's about 45 minutes from San Sebastian. So he's kind of in the hills. He's got his own goats. He's got his own cows. It's like a farmhouse, and all his produce is quite produce. It's all produce driven, really. Simplicity in itself. So I think chefs, we like that stuff. We love it. It's like you pare everything back to its simplest form, and it's like, chefs are always, you always know a good chef. It's like it's not about what you can put on; it's about what you can take off.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of why he is, and he's kind of the guy that had not invented, but mastered all these kind of different types of grills and different kind of cooking apparatuses, where he's obviously developed himself.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I didn't get a chance to go when I was there last time, but I think I'll definitely make a trip back there soon.
Yeah.
Go back to that.
Amazing. So just to stick with San Telmo just for a little bit more before I deep dive into you, it maybe sounded better in my head than the way I asked that. Sorry. But as a diner coming through those beautiful doors, what's the best way for me to experience San Telmo in Brisbane? What would you suggest?
The best way to suggest San Telmo is, I'd be like, come curious and leave happy. But I think once you come into the doors, you can it immediately has this like old style of black and white tiles. So that's kind of a little runway we have going up into the restaurant. So you can see the full dining room. We have our dry aging cabinet arriving next couple of weeks, which will be unbelievable. So you can see it from the kind of corner of the street as you're walking down. You won't miss this with the neon signs, which is awesome. And then you can make your way up the tiles where the kitchen is an open kitchen. So we have about 10 seats on the kitchen. So you can come up if whether you want to, sit up at the pass and watch the chefs in action. Because it's a entirely open kitchen where you can see the chefs cooking, sit there and relax and let us the chef serve you, or whether you want to kind of go into the main dining room, we can sit in the Chesterfields and just kind of relax in there and I think every different part of the restaurant, which is awesome, has got different vantage points. Yeah, man, there's a few little spots in there that my favorites are, like, you could sit at the back of your restaurant and you can see everything, sit up at the pass or sit in the booths or come to the private dining room. So I don't think any one time will be the same.
Yeah, amazing. And so obviously meat is the hero. Their snacks, smaller dishes leading into that?
Yes. So we've always kind of stuck to, I suppose, a bit of a structure within the restaurants, and certainly San Telmo, but it's, starting off with some oysters, or we do Argentinian flatbread on the grill. So I'll make that in the morning, and then we'll just kind of get the guys, and we'll just cook that in the morning, just before lunch, and then some empanadas. We got different types of ceviches on. So I got one ceviche on, and then maybe like a tuna carpaccio. And I'm using a bit of spanner crab up here. So I've got a spanner crab bomba on, tatas, prawns. There's a you deep fried broccoli with stracciatella. So all these little things that it's not just coming for a meat fest as well as you can kind of have a different, I suppose, a different time every time you come.
Yeah.
And then you obviously you're onto the meat and fish and veggies as well.
Yeah.
We do most of them on the grill as well. So there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Sounds delicious. It's a long time since I've been to Brisbane, but now I feel like I really want to go.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, come on.
Yeah. So now, so you're a co-owner now as well as a chef. What does having a level of ownership? How does that change the way you lead the kitchen? Has it changed the way you lead the kitchen?
I'm not sure yet. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because we've been open, I don't know, 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've always had that level of ownership in terms of just kind of when I managing it the way I would if I owned it. So I feel like I said to Ben all the times, like I don't feel like it. You don't feel like it because you're just doing what you've kind of always done. But
Yeah.
I'm sure if you asked me that in a couple of years, I would have a completely different answer.
Yeah.
Because we're just so entrenched in it now at the moment, because we've been so busy, which is awesome.
Yeah.
To put your head up for a bit of air and really take stock of what's happening or how far you've come or whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, at the moment, going back to your question, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's actually really, I mean, it's really great to hear that you've been invested in the business and doing your job really well, right, regardless, so, yeah.
Well, I think it was 2012 when I walked in off the street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't living on the street.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Sorry, actually, I did that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
came in and said,
That is more cinematic, but yeah. But so,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
2012. So, you just walked in and said, "Are there any jobs going?"
Pretty much. I mean, I just arrived off the plane from Ireland, and I kind of had the idea of just handing my CVs out, just walking around different restaurants and just handing them out, and whoever called first probably was the one that got me really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started, and then to look after. I mean, 2012, I'll be 14 years in, and to kind of be sitting here talking about this is pretty surreal, really.
Yeah.
I would have you never would have expected it really, or how it would have shaped you, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
Making that
amazing.
one decision.
Well, but also congratulations to you because it's great.
Thank you. I don't.
So you came from Ireland. Where did it all start for you in terms of being a chef? Did you always know that's what you wanted to do?
I didn't really, to be honest with you. I had other kind of plans in my head anyway. But I always was drawn to like TV shows and just watching people cook. I remember just coming home from school, just putting on the TV, and I'd always kind of flick around to see what was on. But it kind of always drawn to food for some reason. When I was like, 14, I kind of went up to the local hotel and asked for a job, and I feel like I was pot washing for a while, and then I was just chopping veggies down the back, and then if that turned into like summer work with putting on larder, and then just kind of did that till I kind of left school, and then I was like, oh, not left school, but kind of at that kind of crux of where you're going to go to uni or stay with the cooking. So I ended up staying with the cooking. So I went to school then, and kind of just started my love affair really.
What do you love about it, do you think? Has that changed since those early days?
I think it's grown.
Yeah.
I think it just keeps on growing. I don't know. I just feel like they're always the best interactions, whether you're, whatever place you've had of go in the world, you're always kind of, I have a great time because all I want to do is go to the best restaurant or not the best, the left. It just means like the best part of this place is to go and eat this kind of type of food, and everything kind of revolves around it, whether it's the drink or the alcohol or the local producers or the food, what this is famous for. Or, at the end of the day, you're probably going to be sitting down having a great conversation anyway,
Yeah, that's right.
which is revolving around food and hospitality, or whether that's just, you know, having that kind of sort of intimate thing of what are you doing next week or the week after? What are your plans? I feel like that always kind of revolves around when you're eating and just, yeah, I feel like that is growing. And even with food, I mean, still finding new ingredients, still finding new ways to do things. I feel like that's where it'll just never end.
Yeah.
Buying books or reading or watching stuff, or it's just never ending. I feel like that's something that I really love about it.
I was going to ask, do you think about food 24/7?
Oh, probably no. Just I think that's like, what kind of fish I'm gonna get tomorrow, or what I'm gonna do with it, or I've never seen this fish before. If it's up in Queensland, so it's all this kind of stuff is new.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this. I don't know. It's like looking through. I'm not saying it is, but it's like if you're like a child, you're seeing things for the first time. It's like, oh, imagine what that's like. Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel anyway.
That's so great. So you 2012 you started at San Telmo, but you had some time away in some other places, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Did
So I did.
yeah. Where did you go then?
I was at ten Telmo for a bit, and then I went to a place in St Kilda, which is no longer there. It was a very short thing, but I learned. I was with Pablo Diaz. I was with him for about 6 months,
Mm.
and I learned a lot about Spanish food from him. So which was awesome, and he's very passionate. So he was from Spain, so one of the most passionate cooks I've ever met. Loves food. Um, and then what did I do? I went to, can't remember where I went after that, but then I went back to Palermo.
Mm.
Maybe not back to Palermo, but they were opening up. After it was the next venue after Pastuso, so I kind of went back to Palermo, and I was there for 5 years. And then I stayed there for 5 years, and we kind of had the chat about going to Brisbane. Me and myself and Ben.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ben is one of the other owners. He's up there. He's up here now at the moment as well.
Mm.
So we had that chat somewhere. I can't remember where. I was probably having a beer somewhere, as you usually do, where all the great ideas come from.
Yeah.
And we just said, what about Brisbane? And then we talked to the other owners, and then that's where it kind of blossomed into San Telmo.
Yeah. So great. And it seems like you're firmly Australian now, is it?
I got my what have I got? I've got my citizenship, but I never managed to get my passport. So every time I go to a different country, that I can barely get back in. So I must get that sorted.
Yeah, yeah. The perennial challenge. Yeah, I haven't
Yes.
done my Australian citizenship either. I'm from New Zealand, so I kind of skate through on that special visa. But yeah. So Mikey, it sounds as though you're such an intentional chef. You really you love what you do, and you're finding out all these things, and you've worked your way up, but you're still learning, which is so great. What would your advice be to a young person starting out as a chef?
It's a very good question. I think starting out, it's a long road.
Mm.
It's I think getting to, I don't know if you talk to people who are 20 years in the industry, like we're only getting to this stage. Maybe as a head chef after 15 years, some people think they're ready after 3 or 4 and they kind of know everything.
Mm.
Like you can never stop. You can never get to a point where you know everything. I mean, even now, but I think it's the same, journey every day. And it's a long road. It's a long, long road. And there's so much to learn. So I would say be a sponge, write things down, and just be in it for the long haul, because I think the rewards are there for the people that put it in.
Mm.
And really kind of, I think they're probably in the best. I mean, obviously, cooking has had its back in the day where you were doing long hours, and but now it's changing a little bit. So in terms of environments, it's probably the best it's ever been. So they're in a good position to really kind of, um, yeah, I suppose take everything in their stride. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hard, and yeah, the rewards will come, I think.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm aware you've got things to do, but all the best. I feel like it's just going to get better and better, and I guess you're looking forward. Well, it's probably warm up there already. Is there a difference between summer and winter in Brisbane?
I think it's about 3 or 4 days. I think.
Yeah.
As we can, yeah, it's about 45 hours. So
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say you're probably building up to a great summer, but you're already having all that weather anyway. But but all the best for the door party and for the new stuff happening, and I'll have to get up there and try it out for myself.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Mikey Dalton at San Telmo in Brisbane. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at San Telmo Brisbane. That's SANTELMO Brisbane, all one word. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read this chat online at, you guessed it, www.conversationwithachef.com. And of course, you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats. I still think it's the best way to get these delicious stories out into the world. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit.